What up, friends? Steve from Black Octopus Sound here, and I'm going to drop you into a tutorial here that is super nerdy, and I would even put in the advanced skill level category. It's an upwards multiband compression technique. And so we're just about to drop a pack called Cinematic Indian Percussion. And this is one of the demo tracks. And so I'm not going to show you the whole demo track just yet, but rather I'm going to use this one loop as the example to show you how I'm going to bring out a musical energy to percussion using multiband compression. Now, the same technique can be used on kick drums, snare drums, bongos, tom drums, any type of percussive one-shot hit. And so what's going on here is I have an instance of Isotope Ozone's multiband dynamics processor. And so there's a little bit going on in the low band and the high band. And so the low, upper mids, and the highs. And so I'm actually just going to focus squarely on the highs. And so I'm using upwards compression. So downwards compression means we bring a sound down in volume. There's gain reduction. Upwards compression means there's a gain boost. Now, what dictates this in Ozone is the ratio. So if I bring down my ratio to 1:1, that means 1 decibel in, 1 decibel out. The input signal is equal to the output signal. I'm actually going to bring this down, and if you notice I bring it down, it goes into brackets. This is Isotope letting us know that we're in downwards compression mode now. And so instead of bringing the gain down, we're pushing the gain up. Now, the thing that makes this musical is the attack and the release time. The attack and the release time dictate the movement, the speed of the movement of the gain reduction or the gain boost that the compressor, the dynamic, the moving up and down non-static motion of the compressor is helping us move the high end in a musical way. And so this is how the loop sounds with the processing as it is. And I've used multiband compression to give a little bit of presence to the lows and also bring out some of the definition of the highs. And so I'm just going to hit the bypass button. Let's do an A and B. And so there's a little bit more definition. The low end is just a little bit more full. There's a little bit of extra pressure in the chest from that boosted low end. And there's a little bit more sparkle and detail in the highs. And so we're going to square in on the highs here. And so when I use upwards compression, I basically never go higher than like a 1.2:1 ratio. Just because if we go overboard, we're going to be overdoing it, which I'll just do a quick demo in a moment. And so because this is upwards compression, we want to start with the compressor threshold all the way down. And so it's going to be all the way down, and it's just going to be, the high end is going to be its normal state. And we notice that when we start bringing up the threshold, we'll see a green number here. This lets us know that there's a boost happening. Yeah, okay, so right around there is where I'm enjoying the level of the high end. It's got a nice definition while not being too ear fatiguing. And so listen to the groove of the high end. We're squaring our ears into this. That stuff going on up there. So I'm going to turn the release time up to 100, and then I'm going to turn it back to 2 milliseconds. And I want you to listen to the change of the groove or the change of the energy of the high end, and how it impacts the overall feel of the groove. And so now I'm going to change it back to 2. and listen to how the high end is a little bit more musically brilliant and works better with the groove of the loop. So if your ears are tuned to what I'm hearing, the switch of release time changes the motion of the compressor, therefore changes the energy or the musicality of the upward compression technique that we're doing here. And so the idea is we want to get the attack and release time working with the loop in a way that enhances the groove and not kind of detracts on it a little bit. The release time higher gives the high end a quality of like lazy is the word that comes up for me. It's kind of got this like, I'm just going to kind of move at a slower pace, kind of out of sync with the rhythm kind of a thing. Now, so again, I'll just A and B it and pay attention to the groove of the high end and listen to how this impacts the groove of the high end. See, with the release time of 2 milliseconds, this encourages the musicality of the groove rather than taking away from it. And so this is just speaking to the importance of the speed of the attack and the release time and how that works with the groove of whatever sound it is, whether it be a kick drum, a bass line, a vocal, and in this case, a percussion loop. And so I've done a similar technique to give some weight to the low end and add a little bit of musical expressiveness to the top end of this percussion loop. So I've exaggerated the parameters right now, and just for the sake of plugging you into what I'm hearing. So I'm just going to bypass it again and listen to the change of tone. The low end is a bit more full, and the high end has a little bit more expressiveness and definition to it, and takes this percussion loop to the next level. Yep, that's the technique I wanted to show, using upwards compression to add some musical groove to the high end of a percussive loop. And this can be cross-used in a variety of different instruments and frequency bands. Ciao.